Lesson 5, Extended Plot Structure, Exposition. So for this lesson, all you have to do is assess the exposition of the book Wonder and fill in the designated information. There are 2 questions, 3 characters to identify, a setting to elaborate on, and then putting in chronological order a sequence of events. So I'll go ahead and break down this lesson so we all have a better understanding of what to do. So complete the exposition of the plot chart for Wonder. So I do want to quickly rephrase that a plot chart, this is a plot chart right here. Exposition is the introduction to a story. We get introduced to some of the primary characters, typically the protagonist and typically the antagonist, and some of the other major round characters and some of those flat characters as well. We get introduced to the setting, so where the major place that this book takes place in, and typically time as well. So this is just the beginning of the book, the exposition, right? So we're not merging into rising action yet. So the exposition is usually, for Wonder, it's like the beginning of part 1. Right now we are starting to merge into part 2 and 3, so naturally you can assume that the rising action assignment is coming later. But right now we are just focusing on exposition. Okay? So, exposition. First question that this assignment asks is, what important events occurred before Wonder began? What do we already know about Augie? So what this is asking you for information that we learned in order to have a better understanding of what's going on currently. So if we kind of walk into the book Wonder, we don't know what's going on with Augie. We know there's something odd about him, but we really don't know why or how he got that way. So how did that happen? That is what this question is asking. What do we already know about Augie, and what happened before Wonder officially started? So before the timeline of the book Wonder, what happened? And the book Wonder elaborates on that, gives you some of the backstory. Okay? So that's what that question is asking. Second question asks, who are the narrators of Wonder? How does seeing multiple perspectives help the reader? So in the book Wonder, you have the main protagonist of Augie, but we see more perspectives than just him, right? We see the other round characters of like Summer and Jack, and we get to see the book through their eyes, basically, the story timeline. All right, so how does that impact your perspective on the book? How does that change the way that you read it or the way that you view characters? Okay, and who are the narrators? Who are the people that tell the story? Okay, so that is the question, the second question of the exposition. The second part that we dive into is describing some of the main characters of Wonder. So obviously you have August Pullman, Jack Will, Summer Dawson. Those are the big 3 musketeers, if you will. So what you're going to do is describe them. What do they look like? What are some of their major motivations? What do we know about them? And then my main requirement is I want you to identify them as either a round or a flat character as well. So round is you learn a lot about them. Flat is that they stay stagnant. You don't learn a lot about that character. So are they a round character or a flat character? And so the big 3 things that you got to do is, what do they physically look like? What have we learned about them? Are they round or flat? Okay, those are the 3 things that you got to do. Third part of this assignment is identifying the setting. Now, the book Wonder takes place in many different areas, right? Especially with us seeing multiple perspectives, meaning different people tell the story of Wonder. So naturally, we're in a lot of different settings. But what is the major setting? The number 1 setting that most of the book takes place at? That is what you identify. So not only identify it, but explain it. What does it look like? Okay? And then the last part is sequence of events. Now, sequence of events, you need to put those events in chronological order. That's what sequence means. You put it into proper timeline order. This happened first, this happens in the middle, this happens last. That is what chronological or sequence means. It is timeline order. Okay, it doesn't get all mixed up. All right, we start at 9 o'clock in the morning and we progress to 10 o'clock at night. That is chronological. All right, so you got 5 events to do. So you just identify 5 major events that occur in the exposition, the beginning of the book. Okay, so that is lesson 5. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. See you guys later.